Warm welcome, this is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch at the 25th of August 2024. Let's have a look at the cosmic situation. You can see the sun is right here at the start of Virgo, and we do have a moon in the sign of Taurus. This will be the whole day. Tomorrow the moon is going to change over to the sign of Gemini, but today it's in Taurus, and in Taurus the moon joins Uranus, the freedom fighter, at a very earthbound stable basis. The trine in between sun and moon, it's not an accurate 90 and 120 degrees trine, but it's a trine from the signs, and that counts. It's a trine from the earth signs, and that means, though it doesn't have the impression nowadays that it makes sense today to think about stable structures, it does, because this is a nice trine. Joining with other people in the sign of Taurus who do have a specific idea about liberation is not a bad thing. Now you see that Pluto is just on the edge, crossing over to the sign of Capricorn again. This is going to happen at the 2nd of September, and I think until the 11th of November he will stay in the sign of Capricorn and then go over back to the sign of Aquarius. So we will have a few weeks of a period of those folks who have the imagination of getting a stable ground on the old rule, on the old order, which is Capricorn. Actually will have some points, but that's just a thing of the past. Actually, it's just rolling over it again a little bit. Well, that's basically the situation. We do have a sextile in between Chiron and Mars. I'm not going to talk about worldwide brutality events wherever they emerged, because you could say, well, something very bad is happening, and you are telling us that we still have a situation that we can have harmony with in between Taurus moon and the sun in Virgo. But it still is the case, because those incidents popping up, or even those quarrels happening on the military sector and things like that, that's specific, but it's not about the worldwide situation that, well, in part it is, but it's not about the situation from a general emotional mood that we can find us in. And as we are practicing astrology here, it's important to send out messages for private stabilization, because if times are rough and if information cybernetics just run wild, Mars, Jupiter in the information sign of Gemini, I for myself think it's very important to keep a stable ground, and this is what the combination of Virgo sun and the moon in Taurus really is able to deliver. Then the most important thing I didn't talk about yet is, of course, Mercury retrograde. And if we are in the period of Mercury retrograde, which is going to be a few more days, he's getting slower and slower and slower till he turns into the direct motion again at the 29th. Hope you can see it, Mercury retrograde up there in Leo. But everything slows down. Also the speed of our thinking slows down when Mercury slows down. And Mercury in Leo is always the reminder of, what about my self-confidence? What do I think about myself? am I proud just of being myself, not something special, not belonging to a nation or an organization or something like that, but just be proud for your own existence. This is what Mercury says, and maybe when he's retrograde, we can put a focus on some things and think about how did we do that in the past, how are we going to make it and manage it in the future. That is interesting. Now, Lilith in the sign of Libra and the South Node together in the sign of Libra is a, sticky combination. Let's have a look at the chart of somebody who was recently arrested during Mercury retrograde. So let's hope he's not going to be in jail for a long period. He has a lot of very, very rich friends all around the world, and he's very rich himself. So let's have a look. He's a nice person, though. Everybody who witnessed him talking on the net, on his videos, recognized that this young guy is a responsible thinker in the surroundings of what is happening to the world. He's even talking about don't spend too much time on the internet. So please, this is the only show you watch today, and then you just cut off and go out in the woods, which is just better, But what I wanted to show you, just as an astrological, I'm not speaking in my native language, as an astrological Mercury retrograde example is his personal Lilith. That's Pavel's birth chart, actually. I'm just going to tell his first name because we are in those machines. He's Sagittarius rising, and interesting enough, he's one of those persons who have a Mercury in Cazimi behind the Sun. And Mercury is the ruler of house 7. So house 7 is actually the others. That's the one who come from the outside. And he's Sagittarius rising. Now, he doesn't have a chart like Julian Assange that puts him into prison for so many years, but he has a Lilith in the sign of Aries, and there you can see this is, it goes up here to the opposition of the Lilith points, actually. And as he's a Libran person, lots of Libran persons are really able to make money. He has some turbulences with Lilith and the South Node in his sign right now. To say one more word about Mercury hidden behind the Sun, there's a discussion about it. Is this a real Cazimi? Because real Cazimi is Mercury, in my point of view, crossing the Sun in front of the Sun. But some say, no, this is Cazimi too. Actually, this is a nice picture for a lot of people hiding behind Mr. Pavel's Sun, and this is actually what he does. He has this big network, this Telegram network, and there are some people from the outside who can say, well, this is our frontman, and we can do some things hiding behind his Sun. I'm very, very much for free speech. I'm not into any kind of all those bad things that might be delivered throughout those platforms also, but I definitely have no trust at all in the judicial systems of France, for instance, or also actually those who imprisoned him. That's something from this club, Five Eyes and blah blah blah. Shouldn't use too many of those buzzwords, as you know, but just that goes to show you this is actually a Lilith problem. This is a Lilith opposition problem. And as he is imprisoned with Mercury retrograde, it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to work out when Mercury goes into the direct motion again, and then he comes back to the point where he's right now, but in direct motion we might just as well see his freedom again. You know, him to be freed from prison. I hope so. Thank you very much for listening. This is Marcus Termin at the 25th of August 2024. This is the possibility you can get in contact. Use this mail address down here or up here, and down here this is my blog site. You'll find some basic information about what a consultation costs. It's not very expensive, and actually it's easy. You just get a possibility to transfer, and we share a Zoom link, and then we meet, and it's going to be fun. Thank you very much for listening. This is Marcus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch at the 25th of August 2020, Mercury retrograde 4.